Gonna do a deep dive on how to do SMS text blasting campaign for free. Yes, you can actually do it for free. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but it is definitely doable. And if you're just starting out and you're limited on funds, this is the video for you. So everybody talks about it. They always talk about text blasting. What is it? How does it work? And why would I use it for my wholesaling? Well, text blast, it's just texting, guys. That's like when it boils down to it. All you are is really technically doing is texting. The reason why the dang thing's so popular is, in my opinion, as a single operator or as a wholesaler, meaning you're the only person in your company, which is probably 95% of you watching this video, is it's extremely scalable. I'm here to tell you SMS text blasting is the most scalable marketing tactic you can use for your wholesaling business. Why? Because one person can do it. It's absolutely insane how many people you can connect with one or two clicks of a mouse. But today, we're going to break it down on how you do it without using some of these expensive carriers. Yes, there's a lot of places out there like Launch Control. There's like a whole list of them. And if you want to do a paid service, it's not a bad way to do it. But the reality is some of you are just trying to get your text out to get your first deal. So let's walk you through on how to do it for free. It's really not that complicated. The other thing why I love text blasting is not only is it the most scalable thing you can do, number two, it gives you the fastest speed to lead, in my opinion. If you connect with someone and get them on the phone, and that's a big challenge you have to do with texting, you have to get them on the phone. You're never going, listen, guys, you're never going to close a deal just by text. It's going to happen like once in a blue moon, but it's rare. Why? Because if you're really trying to work on developing a relationship and be less transactional, the reality is texting is extremely transactional. It's not very personable. And for that reason, you have to understand it is a marketing tool. You are seeking out motivated sellers, and your job is to get them on the phone to turn them over, bring them over from the dark side and have them connect with you and talk to you. Because if it's solely about price, you're never going to win, especially as a wholesaler. So understanding that and knowing that, it's great. The speed at which you can put information in, get someone to text and get a response is amazing. You know why? Because people are so addicted to their phones, and they're even more addicted to their text. If you don't believe me, pick up your phone right now and just go through all your texts. It's ridiculous how many texts we send a day. I always wonder, how the heck did I ever survive before we did text? I don't know, but we did. And I'm sure there'll be something more advanced coming out with text, but texting, if you can get it to go through, the connection rate is incredible because people always want to respond to you. So I want you to understand texting, guys, it works. So let's get through it. So I teach this strategy I'm going to do today at freewholesaling.com. If you just can't wrap your brain around it, you can go through there. The course is 100% free. I've had it out there for almost 4 years now, and I keep adding to it. It will always be free. It will never be charged for. And I do this to protect you against all the ridiculous gurus that charge you for senseless information from people that do very few deals. Most of them don't even wholesale anymore. So go over to freewholesaling.com if you want a step-by-step guide on how to do the text blasting for free. So let's run through this. And hold on. Let me put out my invites. And what we'll do is we will do the one-on-one. So I'll go ahead and post that now. And we'll do that on first come, first serve. And let's jump into it. So we're talking about texting. So specifically today, we're talking about the free method. I have to do this because no guru, no coach will teach it to you because they want you to sign up for the expensive systems. And to be honest with you, I don't have a problem with the paid SMS systems. What I want you to do is get a couple deals under your belt before you convert over to the paid side. So you understand the flow, you know how to talk to people, and you understand what it entails. And you get some real data and numbers. The worst thing you do is start a text campaign with like little to no money. It's very stressful. So the biggest thing we are all trying to avoid on the text is the dreaded tagline that the carriers give you. And you know what I'm talking about. You know, when this comes up on your phone, scam likely, they ain't answering it. So the advantage of doing the technique I'm teaching you today, it's highly unlikely that you will be marked from the carriers as a scam likely, spam likely, whatever you guys want to call it. Why? Because you're actually creating some authenticity by using a dedicated phone number. But let's show you how this works. So the way we're doing this is we are avoiding the scam likely. Now, I can't guarantee it, but I promise you when you do the paid services, this is a constant challenge. And this is what drives most people nuts. Remember, I'm teaching you a technique for those of you get starting a wholesaling that maybe you don't even have a deal, or maybe you got a deal or two done and you're looking to get this done. So what do we need to do the free SMS texting? Really, really simple here, guys. This is not a long list. Number one, you need a cell phone. Now, I know for a fact you all have one sitting in your hand right now. I don't want to hear you complaining how much it costs because you already have it. And most likely that cell phone's not making you any money. So let's turn that around and turn that cell phone in and show it how to make us money. Number two, to do it is you're going to need a Google Voice account. If you don't already have one, go out and get one. I'm going to be honest with you. A Google Voice is so valuable as a wholesaler, and I don't care what level you're at. I have a lot of Google Voice accounts. Guys, do the math. If a number costs you, say, $4, let's just do a round number, $5 a month. 5 times 12, that's $60. You had it over 10 years. That's $600. Now take 4 or 5 of those numbers, cut up to $3,000. If you don't have a lot of money and you want to get started, especially on an SMS text campaign, at least start with this strategy because you can keep these phone numbers for life. I don't even know how Google does it. I know it's in their bigger scheme of things to sell you everything from Gmail to phone calls and everything else. But these things work well and they're extremely reliable. Now, you're going to have to go in and do some setup features on it. The last thing I want you to do is when people call in that Google Voice is for them now, this is a Google Voice message or anything like that. You've got to make it extremely authentic. So let's talk about the free SMS text plan. It's actually really simple. I'm just going to cut straight to the chase so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So here's the facts. You are allowed to do 5 texts per hour without ever coming up marked as a scam likely. Why? Because that's how the carriers infiltrate everything. Once you start bundling it up and using these services, they catch on to you. And that's how your number gets tagged scam likely. And once it's scam likely, nobody's going to answer it because the carriers are trying to discourage you from doing it. And so that's why they put a tag on you. Yes, I know Launch Control has some very advanced systems to work your way around it. But remember, we're talking about the free way to do SMS text blasting. You can always graduate to the paid way. So if you get this concept, the paid one's going to seem very, very simple for you. So if I can do 5 an hour and I got 24 hours in a day, that means potentially you could do up to 3,600 texts per month. But let's be honest, unless you're going to stay up 24 hours a day and constantly wake up every 59 minutes and do it, odds are you're not going to get out 3,600. Honestly, if you got it 1,000 or 1,500, I would be extremely proud of you. So 3,600 is going to be a little bit extreme because like you're going to have to go 24/7 and not stop. So here is the main difference so you guys understand it. By using this method and the method I'm going to teach you today, you are actually seeking the seller's permission to communicate to them. I know that sounds crazy, but once they start interacting with you, you're good. So you see, if they don't interact with you and you constantly berate them with SMS Text Blast, that's when you get marked as scam likely. By having an interaction with people, by asking the right questions, which I promise you I'm going to share in this video, asking the right questions is the key to getting a free SMS text campaign off the ground. You just can't ask the standard questions. So, Rick, what are you talking about? How many questions can they possibly ask? Well, I'm here to tell you guys it's simple. Now, here's the key difference that me and Zach teach you. And here's the cool part. I teach it in the free SMS text version, and I also teach it in the paid version that we use through Launch Control. Now, you're going to use what we call the double whammy script. So back in the old days when me and Zach did texting is we could just ask one simple question, get a response, and we could filter our leads, and it actually worked like magic for years. Those days are long and gone. So I'm going to teach you about the double whammy script. It is a 2-tiered question, and it has multiple purposes. Number one is to actually engage your prospect, your seller, and let them know you're not a computer. I know that sounds crazy, but you have to ask a question that a human being would ask, not a computer, especially AI. And my God, is that going on rampant right now? Number two, you are looking to disqualify the people that don't want to work with you. Let's just get rid of them right off the bat, right? There's no point in talking to someone that A, doesn't own the home, and B, has no interest in selling to you. So I want to eliminate those people right off the bat. And the reality is it's going to be a majority of the people. This is about efficiency. If I have 5,000 people on a list, I want to rip through and find the 100 that want to talk to me. I don't want to sit there and spend and talk to 5,000 people. That's the beauty of texting. You don't have to talk to them. And a lot of people operate texting so they don't have to talk to people. Why not do it in business? I agree completely with it. The third thing it does is by qualifying the prospect and having them even respond to you, you are less likely to be tagged for a spam likely event. And once you understand that, you understand why we teach this method. So let's talk about the first question when you do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it up there. And you don't have to rehearse these because the beauty of texting is literally just cut and paste. So the people that have had the most success in any type of SMS text blast is they vary their responses, the double whammy script. You can't have the same canned response for everyone. People will pick up on it over time, and you got to understand doing that. So let's start out with question number one. Real simple. Remember, we are disqualifying right off the bat. Okay. Yeah. Hey, this is Rick. I just drove by 123 Main Avenue. Is this the owner? Here's where we get permission from him. Ready? Who is this? Standard question. Typically text. It's not called. So I know my voice doesn't have a lot of appeal in this because it's text, and I'm such a phone guy. I can't wrap my brain around the text thing. So who is this? And I'm simply going to go back with my double whammy response. Hey, it's Rick. Me and my partner are looking to buy a house in your neighborhood. Okay. You've got to understand. And then based on asking, looking to sell your house. That's it. Once you get some sort of interaction with them, you now have a conversation that they have legally and purposely entered in with you. Once they do that, they're fair game to do whatever you want with. Also, it disqualifies the ones that don't own the house or don't have any interest in selling their property. Now, what I want you to do is play with the script. You don't have to use the exact same one as I do, but the more creative you are, usually the better off you're going to do. And the more you can create what I call curiosity in the seller. Don't ask them. You have to ask a yes, no question. Are you the owner of the property, or are you interested in selling? Because we are trying to scale this approach. And the only way to scale it is I got to go through a lot of people. So the sooner you get through these questions, but after that, ask open-ended questions, because here's the really cool part about open-ended questions. If it's a super open-ended question, it's hard to answer on text. And that is the perfect opportunity for you to switch them over to a regular phone call. That's right. I tell you, you have to switch text over to a phone call, because what is the goal of any SMS text campaign? Boom, right there. The goal is to convert from text to phone. Any of you guys have pipe dreams that you can just text thousands and thousands of people and you never got to talk with them? It's not going to work. Honestly, I've had this fantasy for a long time and it ain't going to come true. I think I've had one or two I've closed by text, and even then I still had to have someone get them on the phone to make the deal happen. So the sooner you get them on the phone, the sooner you lock up a deal and you connect with people. And remember, the better your connection, meaning your rapport, your conversation, usually the better of the discount you're going to get as a wholesaler. So always kind of keep that in mind. Now, I know what you're thinking. You go, oh, crap, Rick, I have to skip trace. I know how a lot of people feel about skip tracing on here. It is a requirement for wholesaling now. It is not an option. It is a requirement. And I'm here to explain what your options are, because they're really, really simple. So you can do it one of two ways. You can go the free way, or you can go the paid way. Thank God they've come out with a paid way that is extremely reasonable, and I will give you your options on here. It's really simple. So the first one is simply True People Search. So it's truepeoplesearch.com. Just put it all together, and it's pretty accurate and it works, especially if you're broke. Like, I get it, but the downside is going to cost you a ton of time. So if you had to look up 500 phone numbers, this would take you a long time to do. And I'm going to have to ask you, what is your time worth? The other way you can do it is backgroundchecks.com. Extremely accurate, but once again, very, very time consuming. Now, I will tell you this: if you really, really want to do some damage and you're going to do a much bigger list and skip tracing, the old days would cost you anywhere from 15 to 20 cents per skip trace, sometimes costing you thousands of dollars a month. Well, we've solved that for you. Go to dmzack.com. Just thank me later. You can basically get unlimited skip tracing with your paid version of your account. If you do any type of driving for dollars or anything like that, is actually incredible. And to me, it's really hard to operate a business without this, especially in wholesaling. But check it out. So now that we know what our options are in skip tracing, what's the next thing is? It's list. And lists do matter. Okay. I'm going to start a movement. Lists matters. Lists, I say it again, lists matter. So I'm going to put a hashtag in front of that. Why? Because if you got a crappy list, I don't care who you text, who you call, who you mail to, who you do reverse driving for dollars for, it ain't going to work. And so many of you guys are trying to buy your list, and I get it. And there's some great services out there to do it. But I'm here to tell you, where you're talking about the free way to do stuff. And honestly, if you're trying to figure out if wholesaling is going to work for you or not, at least go out there, since me and Zach have already given you freewholesaling.com. Just go out there and find a deal for free. It's really not that hard. And honestly, if you can do it for free, not only get your first deal, I'll show you how to get to your fifth deal. Once you get to your fifth deal, like, you're ready for the big leagues, in my opinion, because you've showed that you have what it takes to dig and fight through wholesaling. The reality is most people don't. It's just the truth. I struggled through it at the beginning. Almost everybody I've talked to on here, they've had challenges. The ones that can come through the other end of the tunnel with the light, they usually do phenomenal. Why? Because they thought through. Take someone who does nothing but paid lead services, does a paid mentor to learn wholesaling. They have no better shot in what you have, what I'm doing here. And I'm here to tell you, you will actually do better if you can find your first lead for free. I mean, your first deal from a lead for free. Why? Because you're going to pay attention. And then as you go through all the rejections, all the people are going to turn you down, because I guarantee it's going to happen. You are going to get better in your wholesaling journey. And so many people think if I pay a guru and I could do the paid list services way to do it, that it'll be easier and I can shortcut it. No, you can't. I'm sorry. The reality is you still have to learn how to talk to sellers. And if you don't cut your teeth, at least on the free stuff in the beginning, I don't know if you have the moxie to get through wholesaling, which a lot of people don't. That's the big secret gurus won't tell you. This is not an easy business. It is not for everybody. It's extremely unpredictable. Not a ton of people do it. And the ones that do it, they fight like hell. And that's what you have to do. So if you understand that going into it, and understanding the difference between doing the paid way and the free way, is if you make it out after the free way, nobody can stop you. I mean, think about that. If I show you how to do paid leads and all these other things, which are well out there, but the reality is most gurus want to sell you on all their programs, of course, first. And then they want to sell you on all these services. Why? Because it makes their life a heck of a lot easier. If you do nothing but like direct mail and stuff like that, they're going to get paid off any direct mail you send out. And if you make it or not, they'll just play the numbers game. Me and Zach don't operate that way. We're the complete freaking opposite. I want you to hit it out of the park right off the bat. And I'm going to teach you to be patient and understand how to get lists and how to get this stuff for free. Because A, these are actually some of the best leads I'm about to share with you. And B, you actually have to work your butt off to get them. And I'm here to tell you they're even harder than like a paid list. But here's the cool part. They have much more motivated sellers on it, and there's much less traffic on it. I didn't say there's no traffic. I just said there's less. So let's talk about the lists that matter the most. It's real simple. I'm going to teach you the government list to go after. I said they're free. I didn't say they're easy to get. And as long as you understand that, let's do it. So I'm going to sum it up one bullet point here, because I don't want to spend 20 minutes going through this. Pre-foreclosures, code violations, tax delinquencies, water shutoffs, fire damage, and evictions. These are your core lists that you want to attack on doing any SMS text blast lead. Why? Because quite frankly, they have the highest motivation. So if you already know wholesaling is hard out the gate, you don't have the experience to do it, and you don't want to go broke doing it, you better deep dive in these lists, because these lists really matter. And I want to give you the highest percentage of finding a motivated seller. Guys, anybody can find somebody selling a property. Find a motivated seller that's willing to sell their property, because they don't go out and throw it out on MLS. You've got to go get them. And that's just between a good wholesaler and a wholesaler that fails. So now, I would be ill-advised not to give you my favorite list to possibly get whenever doing SMS text blasting. And this part is a requirement. You guessed it, driving for dollars. This is just the art. Getting in your car, looking for ugly houses, boarded up windows, blue tarps, knocked over mailboxes, super high landscaping. And I'm going to save you the $3,000 to $5,000 fee on a driving for dollars. Just go over to freewholesaling.com. We teach it to you 100% for free, because if they're going to make a course on driving for dollars, where do we stop? That's like me giving you a course on how to put your pants on in the morning. Like, you don't need it. There's just certain things that are kind of self-explanatory. But if you need a touch up on it, go over to freewholesaling.com. And I'll show you how to do it for free. I've been doing it I've been doing it 21 plus years. I just can't understand why anyone would sell a course on that, but I get it. Everyone's trying to make money. It is what it is. So guys, I can't repeat the importance of this. The goal to convert from text to phone, that is the key. I talk to so many people like, I don't want to talk to them on the phone. I go, that's the entire goal. So if you're avoiding what the goal is, you're never going to get done what you need to get done. So I will tell you this, you can use this system. The idea is to get your first deal from it, or get a deal from an SMS text. Once you get that, you can convert over to the paid way, which I strongly recommend. But in the beginning, I get it. Like, your limited funds. Rick, I got to get my first deal in, and I want to work on that. And that's how I would do this. So take this information and run with it. Because I'm telling you, guys, I love text blasting. Is it more challenging? Yeah, because it's these carriers. And the problem is the people that legislate your laws, your politicians, sometimes they get upset when certain things get text. But keep in mind, For those of you who say, "Oh, they're gonna get rid of text blasting," think about who writes the rules for it. They're your politicians. And who are the guiltiest people of text blasting everybody? It's politicians. It's political parties, the whole 9 yards. It doesn't matter what party you're in. There's not a day I don't go by getting hammered on it. So I don't think they're ever gonna get rid of this. Are they gonna legislate the crap out of it? Yes. Are they gonna make it harder? Yes. But guys, it's not going away, just like direct mail is never going to go away. So hopefully we can settle it out here in the next year or two. But I would always use this strategy. So